Good morning, this is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I remember I had this radio, and the reason I remembered is a few shows ago when I showed you the signal generator that I got from a friend of mine. It reminded me that I have a radio that belongs to him. Yeah, I think it was maybe 10, 12 years ago. He gave me this radio to store for him. It wasn't, a radio that was mine. It's radio belongs to him. He asked me to store it for him. I suspect he's forgotten that he gave it to me. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, before I returned it to him, I wanted to show it to you. And this radio was made by the Technical Material Corporation, TMC. And they made, back in the 50s and 60s, commercial radio equipment and military grade equipment. And they got into making radios for amateur radio operators. And this particular model, which is the GPR-90, was made for amateur radio operators. The military saw it and they liked it so well, they wanted one with a few changes for military work. So there was a subsequent model made for the military. Now this is 540 kilohertz to 30 megahertz. So it's medium wave HF. Again, it was built in about 1960s. And from what I read this morning, this particular model, they only built, how many was it? 115. So this is pretty much a collector's item. Now, the reviews from the amateur radio world were kind of mixed. Some of them said this was a great receiver. Some said, man, it's okay. Some of the people that were saying it was just okay were trying to compare it to, say, a Collins radio that was available during that same time frame. Well, this radio sold for about $400 or $500. The Collins radios they were comparing it with sold for several $1,000s. So it wasn't a good comparison. Has a lot of features. Has 15 tubes. Now, I'm not going to turn this radio on because it does not belong to me. So I'm not going to turn it on. Can't show you it operationally wise. There are a couple of videos out there on YouTube that show them working. So that's where we're at there. So it has two large tuning knobs, and all these knobs are really nice quality knobs. Nice big knobs for tuning. These are all Bakelite, which was what was used back then, not plastic. And the two tuning knobs actually have this metal disc on the back of them to give you kind of an indication of where you're at. Up here is the RF selectivity. You know, how selective, that's this one right here. So you can, it's your filter basically. This is your filter right here. So you can filter the band that you're listening to. Then the one up here that I pointed originally is the crystal phasing. I'm not sure what that is for. Audio gain here, a calibration switch. It actually has a built-in signal generator so that you can calibrate the dial. Excuse me. This is the main tuning knob. And this is the display associated with it. The tuning is really smooth. You get used to these old radios in that the tuning is so precise. A send and receive switch. So if you're using this with a transmitter, you want to put it in the send mode so that you don't damage the radio. Below that is, I'm not sure what that knob is right there. This is your range selector, various bands, automatic volume control in and out, noise limiter in and out, antenna tuning. So it has an antenna tuner, basically a capacitor, for trying to match your antenna to your radio. BFO knob, so it has BFO, and this is the BFO adjustment, I believe. Nope, the BFO pitch is right over here. This is the main band spread. So you tune here coarsely, and then you fine tune it with this big knob here. Nice big huge display. The excuse me, the audio filters, normal, low, and approximately 12,000 hertz peak. The BFO, as I said before, for tuning single sideband, and the power on and off gain control, RF gain control. Here's a headphones jack. This does not have, which many of the radios in this time frame and this size didn't have internal speaker. You had to use an external speaker. So it has a 3 or 4 jacks depending on the impedance of the speaker you hook up to this radio. Let me see if anything else I have on my notes that I found. All the receivers are double pre-selection on all bands. That is 2 TRF amplifiers and dual conversion on the top 3 bands. 5.4 megahertz to 31 megahertz. As I said before, 15 tubes. And again, if you go and look at reviews of this radio, they're pretty mixed. Excuse me. So that's about it. Again, this does not belong to me. I'm storing it for my friend over in Tampa, and probably when he sees this video, he's going to go, "That's where that radio went," and asked me to bring it back to him. So that's the show for today. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up, and I'm going to go take something for my sciences. Bye-bye.